Radio check.
Hello, and hello. Welcome to Radio Check You Dare. I am Melissa, and Chelsea is here with me. We're missing Meg today, but welcome to our new era. On this podcast, we will still be covering Formula One race weekends, motorsport news, interviews, and so much more. We're starting off our podcast with Book Club, and at this time we're reviewing the Paddock Club. A huge thank you to Madge Maril and her team at Simon Schuster for the arcs of the second book in the Slipstream series. Now, be warned, there will be spoilers, so if you want to wait, come back after July 14th to see what we thought.
This was literally so good, everyone. Hello, everyone. Again, it's Chelsea. This was so good. So we love to start these book clubs with a little synopsis. If you haven't read the book, you can actually stick around a little longer. But the Paddock Club is about Cat Cromwell, which, by the way, isn't that the name from these witches in the movies in Disney? The Cromwell family.
I think so. It sounds familiar.
It was so good. That was the first thing I thought of when I started reading this book. But she is a professional for-hire heartbreaker. And our main male character is Faust Sanchez. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And he's a Formula One championship driver. I would compare his popularity to Lewis Hamilton. But Kat is hired by a left at the altar bride. Her name is Imogen. Shout out to Imogen. Love her. And to date. And she is hired to date and ruin Bernard. Now, Bernard is another F1 driver, and he loves to date women and just leave them.
Leave them at the altar, by the way.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Like,
crazy.
Multiple women. But, so, basically, Kat is supposed to be a little karma. And to complete this job, our girl Kat gets a position working for Bernard's Formula One team, Stark Benson, as a fashion stylist for the team. Literally beautiful career. And then after a very quick whirlwind of her first day at the job, Kat finds herself instead working for Faust. Now Faust is nothing like Bernard. Love that. And while she's trying to handle both jobs, aka fashion stylist and screwing over Bernard, she's flying everywhere back and forth. And Faust somehow very quickly becomes a much bigger part in Kat's game and basically day-to-day life.
Yeah. And she's pretty much trying to keep her cool because it turns out she's also an F1 fan, but Faust also was like her favorite driver and of course had a crush on him while she was watching the sport. She grew up watching the sport with her dad, who's like a mechanic and everything. And we'll dive more into that, but I think it was really cute how like she had that family connection and all that stuff.
Yes.
And from the beginning, Faust just is trying to figure Kat out. He's just like, something is up with her.
Like a detective.
Yeah, literally. He was just like, something's off. But I mean, boundaries are laid out eventually by the both of them, mainly Kat, but then they get blurred literally quicker than in F1.
It's so fast. And then if you're gonna read this isn't really a trigger warning. It's more like a content warning. There's BDSM mention in here. It's very minimal, but it should be noted because I was very surprised. Not that I should be, I guess, with some of the books that I read, but I'm just like, oh.
Oh, no, literally, I have to agree with you on that. I was on the same boat with that. Oh, we're going to talk about it. It wasn't that much, but it was a more whole, like, the dominant versus submissive roles that they kind of got into and, like, just threw me a loop. And it wasn't in a bad way.
No.
I personally wasn't.
I enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah, me too. Obviously, we're going to talk about how much we enjoyed it.
Mom, but don't listen to this episode.
I honestly just didn't expect it in this book.
Yeah. But okay, so that is the premise. That's basically what we're working with before we jump into the book. If you haven't read it and you want to wait, we get it. Jump off. If you don't care and you're going to forget by the time the book comes out anyways, listen.
Like me.
Yeah. So let's get into it. Now, one of the first things I love about this book is there is an author's note to the readers. Madge to me seems like someone who very much cares about her readers, so I absolutely love that she put that in here. It's not even a short note, it's not a little paragraph, it is like a solid
Good.
almost 2 pages.
Yeah.
And what's one of the first thing that pops out in the book when you start reading is a quote, and it's sadism. Is that how you
I
pronounce
say
it?
sadism.
Okay, so
Sadism.
sadism is as close as billionaires can get to humanity physically, and that killed me. And in the beginning of the book, again, her reader's letter, she said she noticed how much more important the writing this could be, or this would be, because of what was happening in 2025 at the time when she was still drafting it.
Mm-hmm.
And she mentioned it's going to be a focus on the healthcare system. And this line literally gave me chills when I was reading it, because there's so much truth to that, like, that's literally the closest they're going to get to some, not every, I don't know, not that there's many, but some, like, that's the closest they're going to get. And I was just,
Yeah.
oh, that made me feel icky.
Yeah. No, it's so true. Like, I like how the focus was on her because it's always such a hot topic in general, and it's something I feel very strongly about. But when she mentioned that, I was just interested to see like how it would play out in the story. And then when Kat and Bernard had gone to the gala before I think it was before their New York trip, it was like a little light bulb went on. And I was like, oh, it started to connect. But still, I was just, I wonder what really happened that's like deeper and everything with Kat, which obviously we find out later. But it was just like, okay, this makes sense. Here's one connection. Okay, let's see how much more that connection can go into the storyline, which was like, it played out really nicely with it. And then the way it was closed out, I really liked that part the most, just the way that loop was closed out and then how it just,
It has like a
yeah.
really good, obviously this dumb storyline, but like literally it's very like she does it so well that you feel it from the first chapter to the last, why it's important to the
Yeah.
storyline.
Yeah.
Like it's never
It's
not
not like,
kind of in the back of the mind of the main
yeah.
character.
And it's not like, it's not mentioned too much where it's like, okay, I
Annoying.
thought this was a romance book, where's the romance type thing, but it was just like you
Right.
said, it's like always a thing in the back of the mind. And so, yeah.
But definitely it was definitely an interesting way to start off a book, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was a dog.
That was
And then
lit.
the other thing that I love about this book that, again, we get right off the bat is the premise of what Kat is, which is
Mm-hmm.
basically being hired karma. Madge uses a
So
different
badass.
term.
I'm sorry.
It's so good. No, like if this was a movie, there was literally a point in my notes where I, instead of writing, oh, I read this, I put, I watched this.
Yeah, I would so watch it.
Because I was like, the way I was imagining everything, she
Yeah.
writes so well.
Mm-hmm.
She really does.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a term that Madge used to describe Kat, and it was, instead of karma, it was Robin Hood, because she wastes and steals basically men's time. But karma to me was so much more in my face. Like Kat's side hustle is literally paid karma. She weaponizes being a woman, which she learns from a very young age is pretty easy to do, and uses like dumb machismo-ness for her advantage. Very well.
Mm-hmm. The girl knows what she's doing.
Many times she has a roster, and we don't
the
mean
way
roster
she's
in that way. Like
reading, like, yeah, no, the people that or the men
she
that
actually doesn't even do anything physically, which is another crazy thing.
Yeah, like
She doesn't even kiss these people most of the time.
She has like her rules and everything, which I appreciated a lot.
It was so good.
Yeah,
and it's so important. It was so important to me throughout the book to see how she was doing that.
Yeah.
Like, because she was playing Bernard. That's the premise of the book. The premise is that she's a hired for karma person to ruin men's lives because they ruin a woman's life. And the only thing is, I do wish that specific storyline had been built on a little bit more. Because while I totally get that the love story of this book is Faust and Kat, like the premise was Bernard.
Yeah.
And I think it just ended up kind of on the back burner, which is crazy because at the end she finishes the job. Like she successfully finishes the job, and I was shocked because I'm like, how did you do this with so little interaction? You must be one of the hottest characters I've ever read about. That has to be what it is.
Has to be. It's I'm with you on that too. I think if we saw a bit more like development around their quote unquote fake relationship, it was obviously fake to her, but not to him. That's how stupid he is. I think for me, it would have been nice to see like a little bit more courting or lack thereof, just given the type of character and the type of guy Bernard is in this book. I doubt he would do any courting, but seeing how he would try to talk to her, like the outrageous things he would say, because like off the bat he was talking about like wanting kids and settling down, and she's like, "Whoa, like first day here," type things. Red flag, ladies, men, red flag.
He's crazy.
He is psycho. And he's just weird. And whenever he was mentioned or where that storyline was brought back in with Bernard, it was just kind of like an oh yeah type moment for me, because I was so wrapped up in Faust and Kat's like relationship
Yes.
and their love story development. I was just like, oh yeah, like we're over here trying to screw over Bernard. I wish I would have seen more of like the thinking behind it, like what Kat was planning to do or what she would do and how the actions played out and all that stuff. Um, and then towards the end, like again, spoiler, when he does end up like, because I want to talk about this, the way he proposes to Kat.
It's so bad. It is so bad. In my notes,
So
I literally wrote, I was like, oh, so we're proposing now?
yeah,
I was like,
literally.
dude, there's no way he just asked us to marry him with the minimal interaction we've had throughout all this. I say we, like if we're the ones getting proposed to, but
like 2-3 dates after.
You know what? I think if we had seen more of their text messages between Bernard and Kat, like we did with Faust and Kat, maybe it would have been a little bit more built on.
Yeah,
because she does mention that they talk a lot on the phone.
Yeah, or like their interactions and everything, so we can see like why he decided.
How are you playing him so well?
Yeah. I was just like, oh, but it, like for me, it just kind of just ends there, and it's just never really mentioned again.
Yeah,
until like everything works out and we get the happy ending. But even then, it's just like, well, yeah, that happened, whatever. Like, okay. But on the note of Bernard, I wish there was more involvement with Imogen. I get that Cat has his rules. I get it. It's so understandable. But I think like how the story developed with Imogen, I think it would have been beneficial if Cat was updating Imogen on what's going on.
Right. The no contact thing is crazy.
Yeah, because like Imogen just showed up to a race randomly. She was like, hello. Like,
what's so funny to me is that this girl sends a photo to Bernard, like, with Imogen.
Yeah.
And he doesn't say shit.
She's just like, oh, it's just a friend from modeling. It's just like,
huh? Bernard, you have to be one of the slowest men.
Mind you, she's a ballerina, so it's just like, there's really like no.
Where's the crossover?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. She seemed
Bernard,
cool.
I liked Imogen. She's like this random side character. I was like, I feel bad for you.
Yeah. Same.
Like, you really just got played.
She really did, because she was having a hard time moving on at first too.
Yeah. But I don't know. The whole Bernard storyline is really weird to me sometimes. Because Faust and Kat themselves are such an interesting pair that like they could have been the whole book and I would have read it. But like I said, there is some shut up, Teddy. There is some weird BDSM tones in here. Honestly, it's not even weird. It's just weird in the sense that I was not expecting it. Like, and to be honest, it's not even sexual. Like, it's more the relationship aspect of what a dom and sub would have going on. But I guess it's also kind of both in the bed. But like, that rarely even happens throughout the book. And again, it's kind of hot sometimes. I get it. I get a cat. But the way Faust just wants to take care of her is such a perfect trait, but also such his biggest downfall throughout the whole storyline. And I think his character is so complicated in the fact that he is also so simple that his love language is just acts of service and words of affirmation.
Literally, that's all. Like, the simplest thing.
That's really it. He overcomplicates it because of his struggle to get into Formula One, which understandable. Maybe that's why he needs the whole control kink thing, I guess. But
he doesn't like to see other people like struggle. Yeah, it was just, and thinking like now, especially when I was writing these notes like in the order that you wrote them,
Yes.
I don't even know if I want to say like it's really like BDSM. At least
It's not, but
not.
she put BDSM in the book.
Yeah,
That I'm
yeah,
using her
yeah,
term.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. At least not. That's why I was like, it's at least not to me. It's really not. But again, like
It's like the
it all the
touchings of it,
yeah. It has. It's literally just like
which is
yeah.
fine.
It's
I
fine.
don't need the I don't need
I'm
the
not.
max of it for the book.
I will say I'm not complaining about it because it was just just more like that dom sub stuff, which is like
Oh,
it
it was
was
just
cool.
funny.
But our girl Cass, she loves that whole being praised thing, and I
She
get it.
does.
But when Faust was just talking about how he wanted to take he wanted again
Right.
he wanted to take care of her. That was cool. I mean, he had like breakfast ready for her when she would wake up.
When he has 4 different types of toasted jams and all this bullshit, I'm like, that is so extra, and that
He's
is so
like,
funny.
I don't have
and
to
at
watch
what
my
time
diet.
did you wake up to do this?
Right. He had to go to the grocery store, get there, come back,
home, cook it, make it.
Right.
That's at least an hour.
At least. I would say 2, maybe tops.
Maybe. Because he was also dressed and ready for the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think like
that has to be at least 2 hours.
He probably woke up around 4 or 5 o'clock.
We're thinking too hard about this, but
we really are. It's like in the world of Slipstream.
Time goes quick and slow.
Quicker than Formula One pit stop.
So, I don't know, but it was definitely a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But also something I love about this man. If you watch the Vampire Diaries, you'll get it. This is very Stefan Salvatore of him. He has a diary.
Mm-hmm.
And every little day he writes like a little note or something, or like a list or whatever it is. And there's this cat and mouse game throughout the book. That, to be honest, Cat thinks she is winning much more than she is. Because the little diaries are from his point of view. So basically, he's so funny and sarcastic, but I like that Madge didn't directly do his point of view chapters, because sometimes I get tired of those. Mm-hmm. But I did like that we still got like a little view into his point with the short spurts. Too. So seeing her think that Kat is getting away with all this bullshit, like this double life, like I'm a fashion designer, blah blah. Mm-hmm. And Foss is like, yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on her because she's a liar.
He's like, I gotta keep an eye out for Selena.
And like, wait, like, yeah, he did like see her at the first job, like again, the Imogen wedding. They run into each other. If you guys are reading, spoiler, they run into each other outside the wedding for literally the briefest of seconds. Mm-hmm. I want to say this was a 3-minute interaction. But obviously she left a very lasting impression. So literally he ran into the first day of the job and he was like, I know you, and you're pretending not to know me, and I don't like it.
Yeah, he did not.
Like it was low-key an ego hit. He was like, why are you pretending 100%. Not to know me?
Especially with how big he is.
Yes.
The sport, and she was just like, haha, I never.
And the pretty girl, he was like, excuse me?
Yeah. She's like, I don't know who you are. I don't even know this sport. I'm just here to like, dress you. And that's all. You're my
low-key think it was an ego hit that caused him to get so like, not attached, I guess, but like a little
like hurt.
Yeah. Because he was watching everything.
So. Yeah. No, I was a very big fan of it. I thought it was like a really like same thing as you said, Chelsea. Like you and I, we're just always on the same like brain cell with our books. But it was just fun and cute to look into his mind with so much of switching to his POV, like directly, like that whole switching point of views and all that stuff. It was just like kind of like a nice surface level of what he was thinking or what he was like processing and everything. And when he first met her officially at his job and all that stuff, I was just like, oh, he probably doesn't like her and knows something. So, but of course, like, I was just like, oh, an enemies to lovers type thing. But then the next one, I was like, oh, he's down like really bad because this one, spoiler again, page 31, right before chapter 12, in his journal entry on May 17th, Monday, he said, I'm not obsessed with Kat, despite what Eddie says. Eddie is their reserve driver who I love Eddie. He's funny. I just want to figure out why she acts so, and this is crossed out, She can't seriously be into him of all crossed out. It'd be fucked if the only woman I crossed out, and then I only think about her this much because someone has to pay attention.
Yeah. And then like before, I think it is chapter 17 or chapter 16, he wrote, "I'm obsessed with her."
Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna look for it like right now. Hold on. I think is this
I
it
know
now?
it's before I know it's like around chapter 17 because I have notes like after that where we move on. But I was just like,
Pretty sure I know which one you're talking about because
oh, and okay, wait, this is also where I had to bring in the BDSM thing. This is in my notes. Okay, sorry, back to this.
yeah.
If you haven't seen this movie, that's okay. It's a really weird movie, and I understand that. If you know, you know. There's a movie called Secretary from 2002, and that's okay if you don't know it. It is basically a BDSM like light core movie of this girl that works in an office, and her boss is like her dom, and she references this in the book. The second she referenced it in the book, I was like, "There's no way."
Oh.
So I'm just saying, I did not get the BDSM out of nowhere. That's the movie she referenced.
No, yeah. I mean, they literally like mentioned it in the book, like the characters
so
themselves too. So, but yeah,
so weird.
I really enjoyed his little journal entries. I'm just like, and like you said, it's sprinkled in enough where it's just enough. It's not overdoing it, and it's not like underdoing it.
You know what? You saying that? Yes, she didn't overdo it because we never, like, we the reader don't know the ending at all. Like between him and Maisie.
Yeah.
Until we get there, and I thought that was really nice because obviously we're getting all these journal entries, and never once does he ever mention that. And I was like, oh, I like that. She cut that one in. Also saying that, keeping her cards closed. So much chess. I don't play chess. I had to Google things while I was reading this so I can understand like what his move was supposed to do. Like, was it like a hot move? Is it supposed to be sexy if you understand chess? But I do love that they had a connection there.
Yeah,
that was very cute.
It was very cute. Like, I think for me, when I was reading the book, and then when she later on, you know, had left after Monaco and the whole proposal thing, I was hoping, like, with her deleting everything, she would forget to delete the chess app, and then that's how they would reconnect. Because I was just like, that was a cute little thing between them, where it's just like they spoke really there, because I imagine, like, you know, the alias that they had and whatnot, like, whatever, like, no one's gonna figure out that it's Faust, the F1 driver, and his employee, if you will, Cat. But I was sad when that didn't happen, but not too sad. But I thought it would have been really cool because it's the way they started talking, like, on there first, and then eventually they just, I guess, stopped. But
I do think it's so real if she just forgot about the app.
Yeah. Because I do that often too. So.
I do that especially with like Wordle. I'll get on there for like a week and then forgot about it for months.
Me and all the games I have. No, seriously.
But I don't know. It was really good. I mean, Faust himself is such an interesting character because seeing the difference between him and Bernard, and how Faust is basically someone that I would say has Esteban's background. It's like the closest I can get to it.
Yeah. I mean, Lewis had like a similar background with like the upcoming, but I know Esteban has been more sacrificed from the parents too. So
right,
a mix of the two.
Yeah, I think it's a solid mix of the two, especially because of the whole health background that she has with her family, her parents, or her mom and her grandma. But and then Bernard is like the complete. Bernard is Lance Stroll. So it was so interesting seeing their difference, how they acted, how they treated people, how they treated girls. And I'm kind of upset that like it's mentioned that like, they have their history and they're no longer friends, and I feel like it's almost supposed to be like a Bro Sadie situation.
Yeah. I got that vibe too.
Right. But it's so good, and I wish we had delved more into it, because if it was Bro Sadie's, like give me like a, what's that called when you go in the past? Oh my god, a flashback.
Yeah.
Give me a flashback.
Yes.
Or I don't know. I just one story that would have made more connection, because there is one. I mean, there's like this text thread, I guess, that they have that he
Yeah,
talks
they
about
have like
it.
their like the group chat.
No, remember she's just talking to him one on one, and she's like, "Oh, I didn't think he would talk this much or something," and then texting, and he's
Oh,
like
yeah,
telling her
yeah,
about it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yes,
but
yes, yes, yes.
even
I remember.
then, he's very vague. Like,
Yeah,
there's not a specific thing. It's just kind of, the dad gave me money, and now we don't really mess with each other.
yeah,
I don't
and it's
know.
on
I'm like,
brand for the kind of character he is too. But
right.
I
I don't
think
know.
a bit more on it would have been nice to know again to know more about Faust and his character, like go more in depth with his
Mm-hmm.
character development and why he is the way he is. But even maybe seeing like Bernard's perception of what the friendship was to him and what the breakup was as well. Like, and this could have happened on one of the nights that he was out with Kat for dinner and whatnot. Those text conversations again. I would assume like she knew some of it. Maybe he said something to her, but we didn't
Maybe.
get that. Yeah. So, but I think that would have been nice to just get a bit more, just so we can understand better the whole "we're not friends with one
Right.
another"
Because I
type
think
thing.
throughout the book, like, Kat and Foss together are built really super well, but
Hmm.
Bernard with each character is like not.
Yeah, I agree. And again, the whole premise is around screwing up
Well, it
Bernard.
what no, I think the
It
premise
was,
began with that, and then it
yeah,
like,
it faded away.
because even she kind of,
Yeah,
she was like, "Oops, I'd
yeah,
rather do this." And
yeah.
she was
Because even
canceling
like,
on him to be with
yeah,
Frost.
yeah. Because even Foss was just like, "What's the plan? Like, what are we gonna do?" And then he kind of just like is whatever about it.
I
I
think
don't
it's
know.
that he was so possessive of her. He's like, "You don't need to do all that."
Yeah, like just come hang out with me. It's okay.
Yeah.
Which real, I get it.
And you know, I think one of the best examples of them hanging out together, like Kat and Foss, is during that whole day gala thing.
Hmm.
Because that is one, her and this guy Bernard already like, meh.
Yeah,
Yeah. And Foss is like, you like, I'm gonna like, I love to do this. I want to do
yeah,
this. And she's like, you don't
yeah.
have to do this. He's like, no, blah blah. And I
It's
love
fine.
that because
Hmm.
it's so good. And then speaking of the gala, the point that fashion is Kat's thing, which I love because Madge does mention in her like,
Hmm.
oh my god, did you hear that thunder?
Yes, I thought it was like
That
you brushing
was,
like against your mic.
oh my god, no, that's so scary.
That's no,
Okay.
that was like crazy loud.
Okay. So, anyways, sorry, listeners. It's a little thunder down here in Florida. But the point that I was constantly running to Google to
Hmm.
try and look and visualize these beautiful outfits that she was describing.
Yeah.
And I almost wish there was like an artwork through the
Hmm.
storyline. Like, you know how, because if you have the book, there's
Hmm.
these pages where
Sometimes like in the
the
middle of the
chapter,
book. Yeah.
yeah, the chapter ends and there's a blank page after it
Hmm.
for whatever reason, like one of these.
Yeah.
That's just blank. Show me some artwork, some
It doesn't have to
sketches.
be in color.
Yeah, it could just be like sketches.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because she describes the most beautiful pieces I've ever heard. I found a couple of them online. Like, some of them
Hmm.
were real pieces, but some of them, I guess she made up the brands or something, or maybe I
Yeah.
just
I
couldn't
think
find
so.
them.
Yeah.
But especially the piece that Kat makes for Faust for the gala day, the Met Gala, I'm assuming, by the way. I want a special edition book where I could see that specific outfit. That should be the front cover, actually.
Yeah. Like them going into the gala,
Yes.
even though she's probably in a
In
like
her little
business
black suit.
casual, yeah, black suit. No, same. I think artwork would have been amazing, or even on the Instagram, like tease some of the artwork and everything, because I like when art like authors do that. Um, because I try to picture some stuff, but sometimes it just doesn't come out the way I expect them to, or I just struggle in general. That's a me problem. um, but I did giggle when I realized that the day gala is their version of the Met Gala, which is really cute, even with like it being like in the museum, and it wasn't like too obvious, but like if you, it was one of those like if you know, you know, you definitely do. I do want to mention their text conversations because again, they started off on the chess app, and then eventually, like I'm gonna assume they moved on to regular text messages. Um, but I personally I like those little text conversations. Are you okay?
I found one!
Yay!
So
Is
that's
that the gala
Faust.
one?
No, that's just like
Oh,
his outfit. But
okay.
cute!
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, so go to Madge Maril's page if you want to see Faust.
Okay, never mind. I take that back. But Oh, that's nice.
I now understand why men propose quickly.
Yep. After the
I get
second
it.
date, I get it too. Um, no, like so when I think she apologizes or she mentions how, or in her inner dialogue, how like she sends like multiple text messages. It's all like the same message, but just broken down.
Yes, I do
Chelsea
that.
knows this. I was gonna say I do the same, and I was just like, I love this.
I
um,
feel understood.
yeah, I was just like, wow, validation. But it was just on brand too, how she was like, multiple text bubbles, and he was just one. Not like a one word response. Obviously, like they were like sentences and everything, but it was just like his was just like one with the period. And she was like, question thinking out loud, and I was like, I'm the same way. I will text people back to back and not care. But it was just it complete opposites, like, but it clearly it worked. It worked between
I
them.
think they work super well in like the
Mhm.
funniest way because they're
Yeah.
they're complete opposites, but they're also so the same. Their
Yeah.
stubbornness and a little bit of their ego
She's
and stuff
like
like that.
he's like the black cat and she's like the golden retriever, I feel like.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like she could be a black cat because she's so
Yeah.
like awantao with everything.
Mm,
I think she's just really good at masking.
that too. He could be like more of a German Shepherd too, so
They're like so interesting. I could see him as a German Shepherd. Let me shut up. I
okay.
can see that.
Yeah. I can see it.
I think it's just that she comes from such an interesting family. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and her family to me throughout the storyline is so important. And I think Madge is actually really able to hold that so well
Yeah.
throughout the whole book.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you truly see that for her sisters, because she has three. Kat just has a maternal instinct, and it does come from losing her grandma and mom to breast cancer, but it's never not the focus of her decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And everything she does is with her family at the back of her mind. And I love Maisie specifically. Like,
Yes.
yes, we have the most interaction with her, so understandable. Also, just the way that she finds herself at the end and makes her life while Kat is doing her thing was so satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
They have such a strong bond. Like, you see it when they do their phone conversations and when Maisie's trying to get to her and she's telling these stories of her growing up with her siblings.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I cried multiple times while reading this. I'm not gonna lie to you, especially the ending, like Arcadia and the perfect place conversation. I bawled a little bit. I am in my luteal phase, so my bad. But I cried before. I also I have
Mm-hmm.
a very like the grandma thing really got me. The
Yeah.
way she
Same
talks about
here.
her grandma really got me.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, every mention of the grandma had me crying because there was one line where Kat is, oh, who was she talking to? Was it her best friend?
It was her breast for like Renetta, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And she goes to her because they're talking about the name change and everything. I don't know. And she's like, I don't like being the only Arcadia Alden around because she was
Yeah.
named after her grandma. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
crying in right now on the
Yeah.
podcast.
No, it was so sweet because like I can relate to a certain level. Like I'm not named after my late grandmother, but we do share like a birthday. So it was always something special for me to share that. And I'm sorry, my cousins, like love you guys, but no other grandchild shares that. Thank you very much. But just seeing how special her relationship with her grandmother and mother were and how losing the both of them really affected was like refreshing to see because it's just clearly like grief just is not a whole linear thing. Like it has its up and down and it just comes and goes. It never truly goes away, which a lot of people do say. And even seeing like her dad express his distress with losing two important women in his life too. Like they were all just trying to act strong for the sake of one another and for their sisters and obviously the dad's daughters too. But when at the part where like the whole arcade no, I think that was she was talking to Maisie when she said I don't like be the only Arcadia Alden around. It was either her or her best friend, but then I just remember Macy was just like, well, I don't think grandma named the restaurant after herself. I think she named it after you. And then they were like, grandma had like each shared a special part of her. That's why we each have different like little pieces of her, stuff like that.
Yeah, because she
Yeah,
learned how to get into the restaurant,
yeah,
like
because
sneak
of
in.
grandma. So it's just I really liked it. It was really
And I
nice to
think
like
it's
see
so
that.
true.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I see that with my grandma, or I see it with
Hmm.
like even like my mom. Like
Yeah.
everyone gets a little bit of a different version of someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so interesting to like figure out like what version someone else got.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm. I
oh,
have
I
to
didn't
agree.
see that side of them.
Yeah. So it's like,
So
oh,
it's
they did
so
that too.
fun.
Like,
It's
what?
so good. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
the
It
family
was.
writing throughout the whole book is so.
Yeah, and like how like her little sisters were all there, but Maisie was just like, I'm gonna go into just becoming a chef and owning a restaurant. I'm like, you know what? Yes, I really like that. I do want to talk about her friend Renata. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, so I'm so sorry, Madge. I really like their friendship too, even like knowing that they were both doing the same, the Robin Hood kind of style work that they were doing. Like they
Yeah.
met modeling, like how Kat explains to Faust how he met her crossing paths, and she was just wearing this beautiful dress when she was explaining like what fashion
Yes.
is to her, and I thought that was so beautiful. Where it's like you don't want to buy the piece because you saw it in yourself. You want to remember that moment when you saw that piece, and it's like she connected that coat with me, her best friend, and how her best friend was going to hold different phase in her life and everything. But she was like, I still want you to be happy. I want the best for you. And then eventually she came clean to her husband about like what they used to do in the past.
Yeah.
And he was just like, yeah, I mean, like he's cool with it, I guess. And I was like, oh, okay. But I really like their friendship though, because it was just like someone that I I feel like that would, besides like obviously her family, but um someone that kept her like grounded
Right.
with this double life, multi life, if you will,
Hmm.
that she was living. She was just like, "I want you to meet someone to settle down because you deserve it," type person.
It kind of reminds me of this movie I watched when I was really young with my mom. But basically, one is like a loca, like a
Mm-hmm.
crazy woman, and she finds her best friend again after so many years, and they used
Mm-hmm.
to be groupies. And she finds her best friend with a like the modern haircut in a
Yeah.
little suit outfit, living in a mansion with her husband and her kids, and a completely different woman.
Yeah.
And the husband had no clue that that was her like life. And when he found out, he was just like, "Oh,
Okay.
like that's weird."
Yeah. All right. Anyways.
And, like the movie gets crazy after that, but like I always thought that
Yeah.
was so funny because like people really changed so much,
Mm-hmm.
and like she saw
Mm-hmm.
her friend go through all of it.
Mm-hmm.
That must have been so crazy to witness.
Yeah. Yeah. It must have been. I think she even like Kat even talks about how not having her like Reneta, I think, or Renata. I'm gonna keep trying. um, how even though she's how much even like those changes affected her, where it's like you talk every once in a while, but she's a mom now. She's like a stay-at-home mom and blah blah blah. Like it was clearly expressed that not to say Kat felt a type of way, but how the different phases in lives and everything had also affected her, and it's like I don't know what to do and all this stuff. So it's just like, but and again, I'm just thinking about I want to appreciate the fact that Kat was in her later 20s into her early
I
30s.
think she was like 28.
She was 28 because they later mentioned that she turned 30 at one point. I was just like, okay, so at some point she turned 29 and then it goes on to 30.
Oh, and then okay, wait. I think I wrote their signs. If you're reading this, Faust is a Taurus,
Yes, which checks out.
confirmed. And I can't remember what hers
I forgot what
was,
her birthday is.
but I know it's mentioned because he was a Taurus, and then she mentioned hers.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was so funny. Another thing I want to mention, like while you're looking for that, was I loved Christine.
Yes.
We haven't talked about her yet, but if you read the book, throughout the storyline, there is an F1 driver who is a woman, and her name is
She's the first
Christine.
one.
The first one.
Yeah.
And she's super young, too. And there is this storyline where she's kind of having to prove herself a little bit because obviously it's a very machismo world, and people, and her first race is like effed up because of Bernard, which, Bernard, throw tomatoes, boo.
Boo, tomato, tomato.
But I love the storyline with her, and I love how she kind of builds, I want to say, more confidence throughout the story after that
Hmm.
first bad race. Like, she
Like
just
they
kind of
have
comes
like a
into
girl talk.
herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the Christine storyline is really a really good touch. Like, obviously, if we're gonna write a book about Formula One, why not put a F1 driver in there that's a woman? And I love that she made sense to the storyline and how she kind of worked with Foss. I think that was
If
really
there's
good
a
touch.
book, if there's gonna be a book 3, I think it's gonna be about Christine.
You think?
Yeah. Maybe I think it might be maybe Christine and Eddie.
Was there a connection between this book and the first, and I missed it?
Authors mentioned in his the girl in the first book is mentioned, like they're brought around, and then I forgot what the from Slipstream what the character's name is, but they
I
come
got you.
around and it's at some gala or party thing that they're at, and essentially like neither
Oh, that's right. Aren't they like at the table together?
yes, they're at the table together, and then the guys go out for the smoke, and then Kat's like, but he hasn't even drank, so like, who knows what they're actually gonna do? They're not gonna go smoke, and that's when Kat starts
Lila.
like Lila, and that's when like Lila starts asking Kat questions about her, like how she's liking it and everything, and then she's like, how do you handle like all of this, like being in the spotlight and dating an F1 driver and or being married to an F1
Yeah.
driver, and then she was like, it's kind of easy, like she doesn't like make it this whole thing. She's just, I mean, I just so happen to be married to an F1 driver type deal. But essentially, she's
Right.
just, if you're asking for advice, she was just like, just don't run. Kind of, I forgot what she said, but it was kind of nice. But we do see that's the only time they're like ever mentioned. So in a way, this book can be a standalone because it's more like an interconnected series.
Yeah, I
Um,
could say that.
yeah, it's an interconnected,
Because
but
you don't
that's
really
literally
have to know Lila author to like
no, that's
get
literally
them.
the only time they're mentioned. And I was like, oh
It
yeah,
is a good book though.
it is a good
She's
book.
like
Yes, Slipstream's really
just a
good.
quick cover, documentarian. Okay, she's no nonsense. He's a smoldering driver, main
Yeah, and
character energy.
she went through she like partner up with like her then boyfriend like at the beginning of the book to like
Ex-boyfriend, yeah.
yeah, and he agreed. Yeah, they're exes, and he agreed to do like a document like a Netflix style DTS thing of his team that he's on,
Which, by the way,
and
she's not down for. She thinks this is dumb.
yeah, and she thinks it's like the stupidest thing ever. She's not like enough. She doesn't know anything about
She's like a
F1.
very serious like documentarian. Like, she wants
Yeah,
to cover the news and stuff.
yeah, exactly. And then like she's assigned to cover author and everything that he does and all this stuff, and then
And
slowly
he's like a messy career guy.
yeah, and that's a true like enemies to lovers type thing right there. But like
It
eventually
was
like he
so
wins her.
good.
Oh, yeah, it was so good. Totally recommend it. It was
It's
like
like second chances,
yeah,
revenge.
yeah.
It was
It was
so
one
good.
of the first
It was,
books
I
we
think it was like a
covered.
slow tension.
Yeah, slow build up, slow burn, enemies to lovers like kind of thing, but
Y'all should
really
read
good
it.
books. Yeah, like I said, this can definitely be a standalone, but definitely worth reading because the way Madge explains the stories, even to the point where detail like explaining like little F1 details,
Yes.
I love.
Like, very
And
quick
it's
too, just
no reason to be more than like a few sentences, which
right.
again Madge does like a great job of because like some I mean as an F1 fan like we already know like all this stuff, but it's also nice for like non F1 fans where it's like oh, okay, this is what they're talking about and move on.
Yeah.
Like it's
I
not
think
necessary to remember.
it's not. I think one of the things that surprised me the most about this book was just me tearing up. Like, the message
Yeah.
about healthcare and bringing in the storyline about Laughlin Public, which
Mm-hmm.
throughout the story is a sponsor for Bernard. Again, boo, tomatoes.
Health insurance,
And
but yeah. Oh, and then at
yeah.
which point when they're out, but this is the gala for the insurance, the
Okay, yeah,
healthcare.
yeah. When
He
she's
was
with
just like,
Bernard.
yeah, he was like, what about going public? Because I think maybe these people would like us to be the faces of like their health insurance, essentially.
And
So,
this is the health insurance that effed her family,
yep.
basically.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously cancer is a very expensive thing.
Yeah, they didn't
So,
call her when like the last moments for her grandma or something like that.
oh, and another thing, the anxiety that Kat has around finding out her own health information because of her grandma and mom
The
having
way
breast
that was
cancer,
touched on,
that was so good. I completely understand it as someone whose family has different cancers on both sides that
Mm-hmm.
are genetic, and just going to the doctor knowing it's even possible, that it's even an option, and like you have to go every year, and every year you're waiting for 1 year for it to be yes. Like I get it. I get it, Kat. And the
Mm-hmm.
financial downfall that comes with health and not having a great one is like it it kind of hits you really. It hit me when I was reading the book. I was like, damn, this is where we were going with
Mm-hmm.
the storyline. Damn.
Mm-hmm. Side note, I can't find her birthday, but I
That's
want to say
okay. I think she
I
might have
know
been a Virgo.
I was gonna say yeah, she's one of those like Earth air signs for sure. Um, I really liked how having Kat go through that anxiety because again, like you said, it's a reality for a lot of people. You know, like the unknown of something being in your family, and then all the tests that someone can do to see if that gene can, like, if you have that gene, like, what are the likeliness and all this stuff. It can take a toll on someone. Like you said, every year, every 6 months, it's like, what if something in 6 months happens and it sets it off? But having Kat finally go through with getting checked on her own terms when she was ready, as Fausta said, he's like, promise me you'll get yourself checked out because he was just like, I don't want you to go. Like, I don't want you to die. Essentially, is literally what he said. So, but he was just like, do it when you're ready. He wasn't pressuring her, and he was just like, if not, I'll do it, and I'll be happy to do it. And she was like, but you don't have to. He's like, no, I know, but I will. I'm gonna make sure. He was just like, one way or another, you're getting tested. But she did on her own terms, and even her reaction to the results, like she wasn't overthinking it, and they did like Madge doesn't even write in what the results were. She was like, "Oh, I see the number on the screen. It's still a high chance, but it's not as high as I expected it to be. But there's still a small chance." So it's like, okay, close that loop a little bit. But she wasn't freaking out. So it's like, in other words, it's just for me, it was just okay. She gets it. Like, you're getting it ahead of time and proceed. She was like, all right, gets a lollipop and leaves, and she's like, all right, see you in 6 months. But again, losing everything after losing again two important women in your life to that disease and the financial hardships afterwards is just a sad reality for a lot of people. Like, they lost their grandmother's restaurant. Dad's garage was about to close, and like I think they even said they mentioned they lost the house and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's a sad reality for like a lot of people nowadays, where it's like people are crowdfunding, using GoFundMe to pay the mortgage or pay the rent or pay for treatment, which I can go into a whole TED talk about this. But
It's
I
just the
really,
sad reality.
it's a sad reality, and again, like, unfortunately, these billionaires, multimillionaire people really don't understand that, and it sucks.
No,
But
and like it was
yeah.
crazy too. The description of this
Hmm.
party that she went to with Bernard, like these are people in opulent clothing and this opulence of a party that is
Hmm.
probably thousands and thousands of dollars
Yeah,
so that they can be a private insurance company to charge people hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month.
just to attend.
Yeah. And I think the
Yeah,
ticket was also thousands of dollars to
thousands. Yeah,
attend.
he mentioned, he's like, yeah, it's an expensive ticket to get here. And we're just, and they're just, she's like, people are
Like, are
just
you kidding
casually
me?
dropping money just to attend the dinner. Like,
It was angering sometimes listening
hmm,
to Bernard or reading
hmm,
Bernard.
this is a dumb guy. So stupid.
But I think it's a great book. I think this is one of those books that like it kind of hits you in the most random ways because again, we
Hmm.
left the premise to me a little bit. We left the
Yeah.
premise of what was the Bernard revenge karma thing, but we got it for something so much better, which was this health family like dynamic and all
Hmm.
this. I love that. That to me, I was crying. You know how long it's been since
There
I've
was
cried
levels.
reading a Formula One romance book? And I was crying.
Tears were shed.
So, because we left the main premise to me, obviously, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe other readers will read this and like show me where I left off. I gave it a 4 out of 5 helmets, but I still cried. So I'm still gonna tell you to read this book because it was so good. And even if you don't have to read Slipstream, I'm telling you to go read it anyways
Yeah.
because that one's also really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 4.25. I felt like it could have been a little bit more. You know, that 0.25 is important. I felt like it could have been a little bit more. Again, the same
Unlike
thing
on
with
Goodreads
Bernard.
ratings.
Right. A little bit more about Bernard, I think, would have been nice, especially like if we could have seen some more interaction with Kat and even like between Faust and Bernard. From Kat's point of view, would have been cool. And I don't know. I think like it's just the way that like that loop was closed. I wasn't really too like satisfied, and then like the whole thing with like Imogen, that was just kind of like, okay, job's done, pay me now. And I like to me, I was just like, I don't feel like the job's really done. She just like ran away because she saw her parents.
No, but technically the job was done because everyone saw her run away from him after he proposed, so he still got
Yeah,
embarrassed on the
yeah, that's
tabloids.
true. That is very true. Yeah. So, but again, I just felt like Imogen, like the whole like picture selfie
It just
thing.
wasn't closed off as much as I would have wanted to see it. I
Yeah,
get it.
yeah, it was closed off, but not to my liking. There, yeah. So, I think yeah. It's again, go July 14th. Get it. Read Slipstream first, and then this. You can read this first and then Slipstream, but I definitely recommend Slipstream first and then this. You won't be upset, people. Yes. Slipstream. And then read it, get it, let us know what you think of it. That is all for today. Again, huge thank you to Madge Maril and her team at Simon Schuster for the arts of the Paddock Club, out in bookstores everywhere on July 14th. Be sure to like, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts on the book. We literally read them all. Now, we're on Instagram, YouTube, Threads, and TikTok. Just search up @Radio Check EU there, all spelled out. And leave us a comment or review, and maybe we'll read it in the future episode. We'll be back next week with our race recap from the Monaco Grand Prix. We'll see you then.
See ya.